Here we are. Number one roadblock for why so many of us are not building the relationships that we want. I encourage you to go back and watch the whole series of the top 10 reasons, the roadblocks, all the things I hear when I'm doing coaching with you and classes and speaking in front of you and receiving your emails and your advice requests. These are the things that come up over and over and over. And some of us aren't even really aware of them. We haven't even seen the roadblock on the road getting in our way. We just keep thinking it's, what's wrong? Why am I not making friends? What am I doing wrong? And we don't even see the issue. So watch the whole series of 10 and see which ones matter the most to you to focus on right now. But here we are at the final one I want to share in this series. And it kind of connects to number 2 when I was talking about how we don't make the time. But here's what's underneath that time sometimes for some of us. And number 1 is the fear of rejection. I talk about this in every single one of my books. We are scared of being excluded or of not being liked or of not being accepted or wanted. And so whatever words we're using, we might not actually think I'm scared of being rejected, but it impacts us. Because we think, well, I reached out last time, so if she's not reaching out, then I guess she doesn't want to be friends with me. That's the fear of rejection. Or if sometimes we just say, oh, I wish I could call her or text her, but I don't know if she would see that as an inconvenience or an intrusion, and that's the fear of rejection. Or sometimes we might think, I really wish that he would open up more with me, but I don't know, maybe we just don't do that in this relationship, and so maybe we'll just keep laughing and watching sports together and not be vulnerable. That's the fear of rejection. We are scared to change the norm. We're scared to do it a little differently. We're scared to show up and say this matters to us because we are scared that the other people don't feel the same way. And at our core, we want to be wanted and liked and loved, and we're not giving off those vibes to each other very much. And so it leaves all of us kind of feeling like, oh, I don't know, I don't want this more than they want this. I don't want to be weird. I don't want to come on too strong. We have all kinds of fears. But that fear is impacting the skills needed for building meaningful relationships, because every relationship needs interaction. It needs initiating. It needs people expressing their feelings. It needs us saying, I love our time together. It means us putting ourselves out there and saying what we're feeling. It means blocking off time and prioritizing and risking that time. We could have used it for something else. It requires us showing up and prioritizing people. And that's easier to do when it's people that are tried and true. When it's like, oh yeah, I can prioritize my kids, my spouse, I can prioritize my best friend. We know we're getting payoff from them potentially, hopefully. But that also means prioritizing new friends. It means prioritizing casual friends. It means prioritizing people we don't yet know if there's a payoff. And that takes incredible vulnerability. At the end of the day, so often, the reason we don't make the time, or the reason we just kind of sit on the couch instead of going out, is it takes energy to risk ourselves. And so a lot of relationships aren't happening. We're not making our way down the road to the intimacy, the frientimacy that we want. It's further down the road because it's popping up everywhere that we're scared of just not being wanted or liked. And it's a legitimate fear. Every single one of us has it because at our core, we know that we need to belong. We know it's for our safety and our health and our happiness. And so it matters. These are high stakes, absolutely. But we cannot get to frientimacy without driving on this toll bridge. And so we're going to have to figure out how to pay that toll. We're going to have to figure out how to say, you know what? This is worth the toll. I might feel a little awkward. They might even say no, or I might feel like I didn't get included. And that's okay, because I'm going to keep driving towards depth. I'm going to keep driving towards meaningful relationship. And I don't need it with everybody, but I'm going to keep moving as many relationships forward. And I'm going to keep taking the risks. I'm going to keep inviting. I'm going to follow up. I'm going to email. I'm going to check in with them. I'm going to make that phone call. I'm going to pick up the phone and actually be like, hey, how is it going? I know it's just been a week or two since we've talked, but I wanted to ask you about how XYZ went. We are going to do it because we know that that action leads to the connections that we crave. And so, yeah, we have to pay that toll. And there's so much more I could say about that. I have entire chapters in my books on how to handle the fear of rejection. There's books out there on it. There's so much research. But at the end of the day, we can't let the fear stop us from doing the actions that we know will lead us to connection. And so we might have to risk not being liked by every single person. And it might feel like rejection, or maybe they're just busy, or maybe they're just not prioritizing relationships themselves. And that isn't actual rejection, but it will feel like it, and I get it. But we're gonna have to risk feeling that in order to get to the relationship depth and quality that we really, really want. So, I left a doozy for the end, didn't I? It's a hard one. It's a hard one. But we've got to take the risks. We've got to keep reaching out. We need more of us doing this. And we all want to put it on each other. We all want the other people to do it. But the other people want us to do it. So until we all start learning how to put ourselves out there and build the connection and the relationship we want, my guess is that over 60% of us will just keep staying lonely. This is the big one. This is a roadblock in our way. And so what can you do today to drive past this roadblock, to pay the toll road, to keep driving to the connection that you want? I want it for you. You're going to change your life, and you're going to change somebody else's life too by your willingness to reach out. Thank you. So go back and watch all 10 of the videos and tell me which ones felt like the most honest and hitting home for you. I want to hear. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being people that want to remove the roadblocks to the intimacy that we all crave. We need way more of us driving on big, wide open roads to more meaningful connection.